welcome back to the PTOUnlimited podcast. My name is Brett.
I'm Josh.
Alex.
Excuse me.
I'm Brett.
This is episode 72.
You kind of sound like Rick and Morty.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
like, I'm Rick.
I got more Emperor Palpatine out of that.
It came out of nowhere.
I'm Brett. 72. I looked up a number for it.
Yeah.
It is the usual par for an 18-hole golf course, especially those in tournament play. Usual par is 72.
Cool.
Like altogether for all 18 holes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was...
Have you ever golfed?
I have. I actually was in golf in high school for 1 year.
Yeah.
We've got a set of clubs downstairs.
Yes.
That have been collecting dust
pretty
for
much a
10 years.
Yeah, pretty much a fresh set of clubs.
Do you like golf?
It's fine. I'll play it, but I'm not that good.
Yeah.
I mean, did you play?
I've played like twice.
Oh, yeah?
And it wasn't for me.
No? Alex?
It's just strange because most guys golf.
Yeah, they do. And actually, I'll say like most rich guys, too.
Yeah.
Like, that's their thing. I don't get it. Like, doctors love to golf for some reason.
Okay.
Alex likes to putt.
I like putt-putt. I like miniature golf. I'm actually pretty good at it.
Yeah, you do okay. You handle yourself.
When I'm competitive, I'm really good at it.
Right.
When I don't care, I suck at it. But I've never golfed, like big golf.
Yeah.
I've never done that before.
Big golf?
I've never done big golf before.
You never big golfed? You're talking about you never done a course.
Like
Yeah.
That's what
18
you meant.
holes.
18-holer.
Well, just like, all right, so you know how it was either last podcast or I think it was a couple podcasts ago when we said we were playing Pokemon Go behind a golf course.
Yeah.
So I've never actually touched the green before. And we were behind a golf course and I saw it and I'm like, Josh, hold on a second. And I walked up and I'm like, I just want to try something. I bent down and I like pet it pretty much. And he's like, what? I'm like, I've never touched the green before. I always just wanted to know if it was real grass.
She pet the green. That's fine. I mean, you've never touched.
That was the first time I've ever touched a golf course.
So here's the thing, Alex. What did you think of the consistency of the grass? Because they put some work into that.
Yeah, that looks like some cornfield shit.
Wait, what?
Like the crop circles.
Oh, okay. That's
Cornfield.
shit.
Didn't realize what I read at first.
Yeah. So we just flew in this morning.
I was going to say, it feels to our listeners, nothing has changed, but we haven't recorded in a while.
Yeah, it's been a week and a half.
It's been a week and a half since we recorded.
Yeah, that's it. And it was a long week.
It was
Very
a long week.
Yeah.
But that was nice.
I mean, that was nice. I enjoyed myself. So I don't know where we want to start. I mean, we've had quite a
Why don't you just tell your story?
Which story?
Yeah, I'm gonna say there's
Start
quite
at the beginning.
quite a few.
Start at the beginning. So you want to start at the beginning of our trip?
Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
like we've had some interesting moments.
Well, the first thing that we did is we ended up doing like a park sleep and fly deal with like a.
Yeah, you said it right.
Oh yeah, I had to think about it. a hotel right next to Indy, so that way we could. Our flight left at like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
So
right.
Indy's like a little over 2 hours away. So I was like, "There's no way we're gonna be leaving the house at 2-3 o'clock in the morning after working all day. Like, it just wasn't gonna happen."
It was rough.
So we drove down there, got there at probably 10:30.
Yeah.
We checked in. We asked for a wake up call. This is one thing. We asked for a wake up call at 4. And because I was like, oh my gosh, I know I'm going to sleep through my alarms. And we had to catch the first shuttle at 4:30. So we had to get up, and I was just going to go in my PJs anyway. So I was like, we just had to get up, put the stuff back.
It'll be easier for when the TSA strip searches you.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, that didn't happen this time.
That's very lucky. Both times.
Yes, this time I didn't get searched.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm going to say that, and the next time I go on a plane, I'm going to have to get the strip search done.
Go to the private room.
Private room, yeah.
Yeah.
No, so that night we ended up, we got there, we checked in. We were only going to get 4 or 5 hours of sleep. And then we did not get the wake up call.
No, they didn't do it.
They did not.
I was wondering. I bet they don't even do it anymore.
Well, I asked. I wrote it on a piece of paper. She said, "Would you like a wake up call?" I said, "Yes." And she said, I asked her when the first shuttle was. She said 4:30, and I'm like, "Well, then put it down at 4."
See,
And
they probably need their own wake up call.
Yeah, so they can wake the frick up.
Probably. But yeah, we did not get a wake up call. Luckily, I did wake up to my alarm and snoozed it for 5 minutes, and I was like, "Okay, 5 minutes are done. Josh, get up." And Josh was like, "What is it time?" And then just gets out of bed.
I immediately got out of bed.
Got out of bed, got everything together. He's like, "We got everything. Let's go."
Yep.
So really not a lot of excitement other than that. We did find out that it was a good thing that we we got the room that night because Gen Con was going on the next day, and they were sold out. Yep. Like afterwards.
Well, that's the thing. They have to have a certain number of rooms reserved for this park sleep fly thing.
Yeah, so we were able to get a room with that.
We were on the 4th floor.
I know, they put us on the 4th floor. There was nobody there.
Cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we took a shuttle to the airport. I mean, 4:30 in the morning. So yeah, that was awesome.
It was rough.
We have some pictures of us like half asleep.
No, it was not good.
But speaking of sleeping.
Oh, yeah. Getting on the plane.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, we'll go into that. So, really funny thing that happened is we had a very entertaining flight to Denver.
I had an entertaining neighbor.
Yes.
It was a 3-person row on one side and 3-person on the other. So, it was A, B, C, D, E, F. Alex was F and I was E. And then...
Which means F was window.
F is on the window.
I was the window seat.
Alex got both window seats. I gave her the window seat on the second time. I'm not going to really talk about it, but... She got on the way home this morning. I was like, "You can have the window seat. I'll just deal with what I have to deal with." I had a really bad experience with another person sitting next to me. I'm not going to talk about that. But the other one was
our flight there.
Our flight to Colorado. The guy who was sitting next to me he had the most interesting faces.
Yes,
I'll just say
did.
That. Like he had over-the-ear headphones, which didn't keep the sound in at all. I could hear everything that he was listening to.
He was listening to some dubstep.
Yeah, he was listening to dubstep, and he was into it. Like he was like,
he had his eyes closed, and
smirking.
For the people that are actually watching the YouTube video right now, he had his eyes closed, and he had these like kind of like my headphones on.
Wait a minute, you're not gonna put that picture, are you?
I haven't decided yet.
I wouldn't.
Well, we don't know his name.
I know, but
he might be a listener.
It's public.
But anyways, so when we first got on the plane, he leaned his head back, and like I said, this is a 6:00 in the morning flight, so he was out. He leaned his head back. This guy is probably like 5 years younger than us.
I would definitely give a good half decade younger.
Yeah. And he laid his head back, and he was like, all of a sudden you hear like the dubstep coming through his headphones, and he was doing like.
He was doing some weird faces.
Like getting really into it with his eyes closed, and then eventually, like halfway through the flight, it was like a 2.5-hour flight. Josh taps me on the shoulder, and I he's like, look at this, and he leans forward so I can see, and this guy is like almost like hanging on Josh.
Yeah, he was
with his mouth open and his head back, just.
Yeah, pretty much. He was
out, so out. And then we figured out that the row in front of us and off to the side and the row beside us was all his friends, and he kind of got the bum end of the deal and didn't get to sit with his friends, and he had to sit with us. And his friends were taking pictures of him and making fun of him. And I was like, Josh, Josh, take a picture. So of course Josh leans in and
I take a selfie.
He takes a selfie with him, leaning in. His friends were taking pictures, and then as we were landing, I was like, okay, we need a triple selfie, like the three amigos. So I leaned in and have this big cheesy smile, And then the last photo I have is right as soon as we land, they had to shove him awake, be like, dude, wake up, it's time to get up. He's like, what? Oh, okay. And I have this perfect screenshot of I acted as if Josh and I were taking a picture together, and I have him in the background just.
He was yawning.
Yawning really big.
It was the perfect photo opportunity because it looks like he's
So it was sleepy, waking up. Guy couldn't handle the flight.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Yeah, and then we got to Colorado. It was 7:00 in the morning that time, 9:00 here. And immediately, I'll say one thing, the elevation messed with me a little bit differently this time.
Yeah, definitely.
I was getting headaches towards the middle of our trip, and oh my God. We couldn't find out where Jared was going to pick us up.
Oh, I forgot about that. So
I forgot about that too.
So we got our bags at baggage claim, and Jared didn't. Our friend Jared, who we were staying with, he didn't tell us exactly where he was going to be.
Like what level?
Level?
Denver has 4 different levels of parking.
4 levels of parking, floors.
Drop-offs,
So we
pickups.
just went directly outside of baggage claim because that's where we saw him last year. And he was texting us and said, "I'm on level 2 or something," and we're on level 4.
No, we were on level 3. We went to level 4 because he didn't really give us a.
That's right. But either way, we ended up having to haul our luggage. Josh goes, well, I think he's upstairs. I think that's where pickup is. So we haul our luggage upstairs, only to find out we have to go back downstairs.
2 flights.
2 flights downstairs. And then get there, and we're sitting there.
What's up, dude?
Didn't they have escalators?
We were outside.
We were already
probably
outside.
could have found an
we probably
elevator.
could have found it, but it would have taken longer.
Yeah, we were already outside. We just
my
wanted
God.
to get out of there.
But it was like nothing like 7 a.m., not getting any sleep, and then you are 6,000, 7,000 feet above sea level, and you have no oxygen, and you're carrying these big-ass bags. I was like, nothing like making you feel like a worthless piece of shit. It made me feel like I was like 500 pounds. I was like, oh, I cannot breathe.
Tell you what, the oxygen density here is so much.
Oh my gosh.
I don't want to say better, but it's easier.
It's not. Well, I wouldn't say it's easier. I would just say that we have more energy.
Oh yeah.
Like it's so easily to get winded out there if you're not
I
used
should
to
be
it.
dead
Well,
today.
the
Like,
air is thinner.
Very much so,
oh
and
my
drier.
gosh.
So much drier.
Do you know the elevation of Fort Wayne?
No.
800 feet
Yeah.
above sea level.
Yeah.
Where we were staying in Aurora, Colorado, not Aurora, Thornton, Colorado, 5,300 and something.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we were
We're on a mini
way up
mountain.
there. Yeah. The most, I'd say that some of the most interesting stuff that we did while we were in Colorado is we went and saw a lot of landmarks.
We did a lot of hiking.
Hiking. Yep. We went to this
First
one.
day, all we did was just go to the pool.
Well, yeah. I mean, we weren't going to do anything too
And
extreme.
then because we had just not had any sleep.
Yeah. We went to this. The first place we went to is called
Red Rock.
Red Rock.
Mhm.
Red Rock, and we did some some weird off the path kind of trails. We saw a snake, freaking rattler.
Yes, we
we were walking and we were about to take a right, but the right didn't really have a path. It was just it had a path, but
It went up to, like, the
ended at a
parking lot.
road. So we're like,
Yeah.
okay, well, I guess we won't take that. But we saw this girl with a camera phone, like she's taking photos. We're like, okay, well, whatever, we'll just go that route. And she turned around. She's like, I just wanted to get a picture of the snake. I was like, what?
And we about if she wasn't there, we probably would have walked on it. And it was
Yeah.
a big sucker.
It was he was pretty silent. He didn't.
No,
really
he wasn't
warn us
rattling,
off.
but I think as Jer walked off to the side into the tall grass
Yeah.
where snakes might have
Don't
been.
go into the tall grass.
Not into the tall grass.
But he walked up there to see like where the path went, and then went to come get back down, and he's like, "Where's it at?" Because he couldn't see.
I said, Jared, I will tell you when you're getting really close. He was taking a few steps down. I was like, okay, now you're like 1.5 steps away from him. So he went and walked around him and stuff. And Jared has no fear when it comes to hiking. He just doesn't care.
He does it all the time, so he's used to it.
It's his weekly thing. Like he goes off and sometimes camps, backpacks and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, Red Rock was every day that we were out was like easily 85 and sunny.
there was one bad day. That was, I think, Friday when it started raining. You want to go to the pool.
Oh,
We
that's
just decided to stay in.
Yeah, we decided to stay in. Yeah, that's right.
But every other day was just gorgeous.
Yeah, it was just it was so beautiful, dry and hot, just amazing. And then so we did the Red Rock, and that had the Red Rock Amphitheater there, which we didn't get to go to the amphitheater just because it was closed off.
What did they say? Like who has performed there at this amphitheater?
Quite a few people.
Do you know of anybody that was big?
Elvis?
I mean, Elvis performed there.
Well, we went into like that informational building, and
Well,
it
the
had
rock and roll thing.
Yeah, and it showed pictures of a lot of people that had been there.
Elvis was there.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that photo.
Yeah, that was the one that popped out to me because we had just kind of walked in and walked out. And then the next big thing that we did was we went to Colorado Springs and did we did hiking at Garden of the Gods, which was absolutely gorgeous. That was like kind of like what
that was the hottest day.
It was the hottest day, so it was a little intense, but it was nice. I think we did like 6 miles. What do you think? Like 6 mile hike.
Yeah.
So that really wore us out. We were like babies, like going to sleep after that. And the cool thing that we did after Garden of the Gods is we took like this back road home, like the scenic route through the mountains.
Oh, that was a long
And
trip.
that was like an extra hour and a half onto the trip home. It's usually like only an hour and a half down there from where we were at. But we took the scenic route home so we can hit this overpass where you could see the Continental Divide. And it was totally worth it. It was beautiful. Once we hit the overpass, the sun was starting to set. It was really kind of like almost like a misty fog over the mountains. Like, oh, it was so beautiful. But we went and did that and drove through the mountains, and it was just pretty. And then I visited my cousin that lives out there.
Oh yeah,
we had lunch with him.
Saw your cousin Steve.
Walked around with him for a couple hours.
Played some Pokemon Go.
You
might have had some more stuff written down. You might want to check your write downs here.
Well, I'm getting ready to interject.
Okay, I mean, if you want to say some stuff, we've got a lot of stuff we can touch on.
Just to kind of break it.
Break it up a little bit. Yeah.
I had my first of 3 fantasy football drafts on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Went pretty well, which brings me to the question of, have you all made a decision?
Oh, we're doing it. It's next Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to beat up on DuPont.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just hadn't heard officially.
No, we
so.
signed up and did the click yes join.
Yeah. So the thing is, though, I don't know anybody. I don't know players
I know
at all.
it's going to be really weird to do it this year because we just don't know a whole lot.
I'm not that intelligent.
Stuff.
I'll get stuff like a sheet
of players.
You better have that stuff prepared, Shane.
He did very good last year. So
very good. Good.
I did forget the funny thing. We had a very cool flight attendant on the way to Denver, and you know when they go over like the safety stuff, like putting the lifeguard or life vest on, the oxygen coming down, like all of that stuff. At the very end, so this is 6 a.m., so he knew he was going to be a comedian while everyone's pretty much falling asleep. So beforehand, he was over on the microphone saying stuff. This guy was like our age. He was having fun with his job. And at the very end, he was like, and in case this Airbus turns into a cruise, good luck. It was just like a very subtle, like, good luck.
Yeah, good luck to you.
And then when we landed, he was like, and we'd like to thank you for flying Frontier Airlines, something, something, something. Hope you enjoyed this flight just as much as we've enjoyed watching you sleep.
This guy enjoyed his job. I mean, there's nothing wrong.
It was just so funny.
With loving your job so much. I mean, we saw some other people who just loved their jobs where we were at.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yesterday, I went to the best steak and shake I've ever been to in my life. They had one guy specifically for the shakes. Wow. One guy stayed there and did all shakes. That's all he did. Sometimes he had a second person come in, and they had one person cooking, two people running the drive-thru. They were ready and set. They were staffed, and it was very, very well done. Everything that we got was picture perfect. Yeah. Alyx didn't go. She was getting some ink done.
Stuff done, which we'll get to later.
Yeah. And Jared and I went, and man, it was just the most perfect thing. They gave us the most perfect shakes too, like the ones where you can tip them upside down and they're not runny. That's the way it's supposed to be. Right. Apparently, I don't know specifics to shakes, but but yeah, that was a really interesting experience. Seeing a lot of people just loving what they do. Just
Colorado in general.
Very, very nice.
Very, very laid back, very nice people.
People really wanted to talk to us.
Everyone's like I know, everywhere
they're almost too nice.
Almost too nice. So it's like, we lived out in South Dakota, and there's a lot of people out in South Dakota that are just really nice, really social.
Do you remember that license plate I saw?
No.
I was like, oh gosh, where did I see it? I think it was at either Red Rock or Garden of the Gods. I was saying the state that they were from. I think it was Missouri. That's what it was. I was like, oh look, there's a Missouri plate, and I was just making fun. I was like, oh look, we're from Missouri, and this guy, random guy, comes out of nowhere and says, yeah, I'm from St. Louis. I'm like,
random guy, like trying to start up a conversation.
I'm like, oh really?
Wait a minute, don't you have experience with Missouri plates?
I do. Yeah, I have family that live there and everything. But the weird thing was, this guy just really wanted me to know that he's the guy that owns that vehicle.
Like he just popped out of nowhere. He's like, oh, that's me. I'm from St. Louis.
He popped out of the bushes, out of nowhere.
Scared us.
I think he didn't say anything bad.
Well, there's nothing really bad to say about Missouri except the roads.
Yeah, the roads.
The roads are a little funky, but it was that. I think that was Garden of the Gods. That's what it was.
Yeah, that was at Garden of the Gods.
Oh my gosh, I've never been so thirsty that day.
Oh my gosh, yes. Like we only took like a bottle or two of water, and we did like this 6-mile hike, and you actually end up just like you don't have to pee because you end up just burning off most of.
Can I tell my pee story?
Your pee story?
At Red Rock? Or was it Garden? It was Red Rock. So, Alyx remembers.
I totally forgot about that.
So, Brett, you might chuckle a little bit. This was a close call. I'll tell you this. So, Jerry, Alyx, and I, we're in the middle of nowhere. Like, there's I want to say just rocks, hills, and grass everywhere.
Mountains,
trees. No one can see us. We go off to this little weird spot on the trail that's like a half circle. It's meant for people to rest. And I was like, I'm going to take a piss. I needed to go. I really needed to go. So I whip it out. I start going. I said, okay, tell me when someone's coming. And to Alyx and Jared.
I'm like, you are pretty dang clear. There is nobody. But we're also like on a very hilly area. So
path.
You can't see unless someone comes like right over the hill.
And Jared was like, I think someone's coming. Nope, maybe not. Yep, there's definitely someone coming. So I stopped mid pee.
It was like a family of like 2 people and like
and
some little
babies,
kids.
children. I was almost going to get arrested for public exposure
okay,
to
so
a
Josh
minor.
was very well hidden. He probably could have at least finished. Like, you were inside, like...
It didn't feel like I was that secluded.
It was like inside of a low-hanging dead tree. Like, you would not... It would have looked like he was just observing the bark.
Yeah. I mean...
I looked over at Josh and goes, nope. Like, just cuts it off and zips it up.
First, this one like 20-some-year-old girl walks up the hill, and she's hiking, and then right behind him is another one carrying a baby, a child walking with their dad or something. It was like just a group of people that I could have offended.
And when we looked around before, like, we had looked and we're like, no, there's nobody. Like, you can't see, but they hide underneath the hills. Like,
yeah. It was
Josh was like complaining for a while. He's like, I really have to pee, but we were in just like a big open area for a long time. We finally got to a place like, yeah, I can go pee now. But yeah, I totally forgot about that. That was really funny.
I did too. Yeah. So, did you want to tell another story, Brett?
Sure.
So we can kind of mix
chop
things
it up
up.
here.
What?
I said chop it up here a little bit.
So last week, I house sat for a friend.
Are you gonna tell this story?
I'm not gonna go into huge detail, but I have a problem with animals, and
because they don't listen.
No. It's not even that.
Okay.
I particularly don't enjoy having animals, especially in the house.
Okay.
Like when I was growing up, all we had was an outside dog.
Mm-hmm.
No animals in the house.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of the way it is. I do not form emotional attachments to animals like most people do, especially you.
I mean, Alex is so excited. Our dog is sleeping right over there.
Oh,
so to me, a pet is never like a lot of people say. Oh, they're
like
my
children.
babies. They're not. To me, they're
animals.
pets. They're animals. So I house sat for my friend, and she's got 2 dogs and 2 cats, and they're very high maintenance. And one of them is suspected because he's a few months old German Shepherd, but he's big. Mm-hmm. And it was just a very challenging week for
it was like taking care of a child, wasn't it? Like a toddler.
Oh, absolutely. Only one that he didn't care what I said.
So a toddler.
And how loud you said it?
How loud I said it. But the specifically, the first night I was there, I get there late because we recorded my first night there.
That was Saturday night.
So I get there, and I get there late, and I go to bed about an hour later. And I went a couple days before just so they could at least see me. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure. It probably didn't make a difference, but I wanted to
They still hated you.
Instructions anyway. So the first night there, I go to bed about 11:30, and the dogs are downstairs in the pen, in their pens or cages or whatever. And the German Shepherd starts like, well, first he was barking a little bit, and I'm like, I can't sleep with the barking German Shepherd. Then he stopped, but then he starts whining and crying. I'm like, oh my God. And I actually didn't have my box fan. I had left it in the car.
You could have.
I could have went out and got it, but I started to open the door, and he goes ape shit. Just
really? Really?
Chill. All right, I won't get my fan. I won't. So the room had a ceiling fan. I'm like, I'll use a ceiling fan. So I go to. He stops whining. Then about 4 a.m. he starts again.
Oh no!
I'm like, dude,
that's
go
rough.
to sleep.
Yeah.
And then he stops. About 5 a.m.
The
black cat starts caterwauling downstairs. Just.
That's a good impression.
I'm like, what is going on here? So then he goes for a while, and he stops. And then the dog starts whining again.
Yeah.
Like, fuck it, I'm not going to get any sleep. I mean, I slept some, but from 4 to 6, it wasn't so much.
Oh, no.
So that in a nutshell was the most of the week. Mm-hmm. And I think I told you when I was over here, I've never seen any dog shit as much as he did. I mean, he
some
literally,
of them shit quite big loads.
Yeah. They do, but it was like there's no possible way
he could be holding all that in.
Like he would, like there's no way he could have shit all that he shit, and then a half an hour later he has new shit. He could have. He had to have waited to shit the rest.
That's the way it was when we brought stickers home for the first time.
Oh my God.
She took like human-sized shits. Snickers are small, or are small.
She's not small anymore.
Our bigger black cat, and like I don't know, she just like just because she for one, she didn't move for like 2 days after we brought her home because she was just so scared.
Sure.
And when she finally like went to the bathroom, we were used to Alyx and scooping up her litter. I'm like, oh my God, who shit in the cat box? Like I almost want to say
not that big.
No, but it looked like a human-sized shit.
I would say about this bottle cap.
Yeah, at least
About
like,
that thick.
It was huge.
She did have a little bit of rectal prolapse too.
She did.
Like, remember her? She had a swollen asshole.
Oh, she did. But I think it's because like we started feeding her just like regular cat food, and she was probably on some other thing, and then blocked her up or something. But for like a week, she was taking human-sized shits, and we were like. Like her butt looked really red.
Why was she shitting so much?
I don't know.
Probably
like I said, it was probably the food change or something.
Yeah,
food change, environment change,
adrenaline. I mean, we had a dog at the same time too.
Yeah, and then she had never seen a dog before either.
Yeah.
So she's only like 6 months old.
She never saw it.
No.
Before she was brought home. No.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. She was never in the presence.
Nope.
That's weird.
But just to finish it all, I've never lived in a house where the animals kind of ruled. And they may not when their masters are home.
Yeah.
But with me, I was not the boss.
No, you have to be very assertive.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it was like when the owners are home, you tend to. I mean, they're the owners. They're the
Well,
they assert dominance
Yes,
there.
and I think those specific animals acted out.
Probably.
You
Well,
know?
just like kind of like you get a substitute teacher.
Sure.
And oh, it's a sub. We can
What
fool
can we get
around.
away- what can we
Yeah,
get away with,
that's the way it
you
was
know?
when we picked Layla up.
Oh my
like,
God, she was a pain in the ass when we got her
She would not listen to us
home.
when we brought her home today.
Nope.
Like she was just like it was.
Grandma must have spoiled her.
Oh, no, she said she gave her cheese and stuff.
Oh.
That's okay. I'm fine with that. I'm glad that she.
No, that's fine. It's just like
But
that.
she's so spoiled over the last like 2 times we've gone to Colorado that when we get back, she gets really excited and she sees me. She comes up, she jumps, and then she goes and runs back to Grandma.
Yep.
Like
because we're not the ones that spoil her. We're very orderly.
Well,
yeah,
just
no table scraps, no nothing.
What you're describing is every parent to a child.
Well, and that's
true.
how they act.
That's
though.
true.
Yeah.
It's
And that's kind of how the babysitter and
they're like, Layla, get over here. Layla, just come here. Like
I had to yell.
She's not listening.
I had to use my deep voice. I was like, Layla, get
Layla,
your
you had to
ass
get
over here.
You had to get the snappers
I had to
out.
snap and all that stuff, but I don't want to do that now. She's sleeping just fine.
Well, I got one more thing to say about
Oh,
it.
you're good. You're good.
Now, again, this is the problem that I have.
Mhm.
The people I house sat for, they do nothing wrong.
Yeah.
But at the second night, I was there, from after work on. I was so stressed out and my anxiety was peaked
Oh man.
that I was Googling, can high blood pressure kill you?
Oh, it can.
Yes, it
it can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, I'm not going to show up to work because I'm going to die of a heart attack or stroke in this house and the big dog is going to eat me.
I don't think it can kill you immediately. I think it's over time.
It's probably over. It's like chronic.
Yes.
Yeah,
high blood pressure.
because what could have, if you really want to get into specifics, because I've been to a cardiologist, when you get that kind of thing happening to you, your heart actually like bleeds a little bit of its and it tears itself apart.
Sure.
That's how that can happen through high blood pressure and stuff.
I told so I stayed from Wednesday to Wednesday, and I told my boss on Friday, I'm like, if I don't show up on Monday,
I'm dead.
I'm dead in the house, and I've probably been eaten. So call the
Do
cops.
you really think that? I don't. Well, I mean, you're watching a German Shepherd; they can be pretty rambunctious. But speaking of cardiologist, I went and saw mine on Tuesday.
Oh yeah.
I'm all good.
Good.
It's crazy.
We
They're
did
like,
find out that he has some kind of like arrhythmia.
Yeah.
He does have what's called PVCs or premature ventricular contractions. So pretty much you got your atrium and your ventricles. Your atrium's the top chamber and ventricles are the bottom. And it goes atrium, ventricle. Well, the ventricles, I guess, want to talk back a little bit faster than the atrium
yeah.
is
So
letting them.
sometimes the bottom wants to pump before the top does.
So, but they said, that's only happening once every like 1 or 2 minutes, not that bad. And
if that.
yeah, if that. And he said, now if it's happening all the time, because you can actually feel it in his pulse. It'll be like, ba-bump, 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 bump, ba-bump, but like it'll almost be
pause.
like a pause.
Sure.
And it's kind of like his heart kind of like resetting and trying to get back into rhythm.
Which is treatable. There is a medication they can put me on if I'm
but they
concerned
said that
about
it's unless he's having having them all the time, like every beat, which he said is very rare, especially with how young he is. He said when he gets a lot older and his heart muscles are not as strong, because he said his heart muscles and everything look great, perfect, like they're really nice, they're really strong.
Yeah, he said I could do anything a late 20-year-old person can do.
Yeah, he's just like, yep, you can go work out, you can go hike, you can go on the plane, it's all fine.
Yep.
But yeah, so he's got that, and that's really the only thing that showed up. Why he has that, I don't know why he has that now versus 2 years ago.
They said that it is also specific to if I have caffeine or any sort of additive. It can get kind of triggered by a lot of caffeine, adrenaline, nicotine, stimulants, pretty much. Yep. So he said to avoid that kind of stuff. Or too much of it. Do it in lower amounts. So I do like maybe 1 can of soda every so often. Yeah. And that's normal for me anyway. Yeah. So
the older I've gotten, the shorter my fuse has gotten, and the larger my outbursts have gotten.
Well, I would agree. I agree that with all three of us.
I really just get cranky. Need to get a physical, because I'm sure my blood pressure.
Does blood pressure run in your family? High blood pressure?
I don't think so. My dad is actually, he's 63 years old. He's really healthy.
Yeah. Could be sodium intake. That can also assist on high blood pressure. Yeah. You got to watch your sodiums and your sugars, which is really difficult watching sugar. Like there's actually a specific thing. You know what corn syrup is? Like it's a sweetener. Yeah. I think that makes sugar in your body, right? Like it transfers it transfers it into sugars. Yeah. So you got to watch, like, specifically for jellies and specific ketchup brands. If you read the labels, they'll say high fructose corn syrup, and then they'll have a comma, then they'll say corn syrup. So there's 2 different ingredients, but they're the same thing, and that's a lot of intake of sugar.
I see.
Yeah.
Or sweeteners that turn into sugars.
I've got a bit of a sweet tooth anyway.
Yeah, me too.
I really need to watch it.
Yeah, you both do. I'm a sucker for chocolate, and that's about it.
That's sweets.
Yeah, but I also have a
cutoff.
I'm very.
So you probably eat in moderation.
Yes, I'm really good about cutting myself off. Like if someone brings brownies, I'll have one, then I'll go, okay, I'll have another one, but then I'm done. Yeah. Like I'm really good about that. But hey, all right, let's get off that subject.
That was all I had to say.
Okay.
So we on Sunday night. Or Sunday morning, actually.
Are you getting to the eclipse?
We're going to the eclipse.
That's what I was going to suggest.
Yeah. First of all, did you see anything?
I was at work all day, so
you didn't get to see.
I didn't get to look at it because, for one, I didn't have anything to look at it with.
You didn't have the glasses.
What I noticed, though, because I did walk out right around the early afternoon. It's pretty sweet.
I was wondering if you got them.
I brought them out. So for the YouTubes, these are the eclipse glasses.
He actually can't see anything that's going on right now.
I can't see Jack. I can barely see our lights, though.
Yeah.
So I walked out, and it's sunny, but there was a tint to the daylight.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
So
we're gonna
that was my.
We're gonna get to our description of ours, but we're gonna start from our trip. So Jer was like, he kept on hearing stories about how it's gonna get busy, really busy on the highway, getting
really
to this
busy
path of totality in Wyoming.
Well, there were stories leading up to Monday about how hotels and places where it was supposed to be a big where they just gouged the prices, and traffic was backed up. Oh yeah, people traveled to see this.
Oh yeah,
yes they did.
Where we were at, we traveled 3.5 hours north into a town called Lusk, Wyoming, out in the middle of nowhere, and there were people. No. There were people that we saw that I heard were from Denmark.
Yeah.
Oh well, they were sightseeing anyway. That just happened.
At the same time, they were there. There were people that I saw from California. There were New York. There were Texas, like everywhere, and they were going into, which is weird because I can't believe New York would go into.
Maybe they're going to the West Coast anyway.
Whatever.
I mean, that's the thing.
I know there's a lot of California license plates.
The price hikes were mainly on the airplanes.
Yeah.
Because if you wanted to fly and be in the path of totality of this eclipse, it was nuts.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
The experience itself we'll get to, but the drive there, we left at about, I want to say
we wanted to leave at 4:30 in the morning. I'm so glad that we
left at 6:30.
It was 6.
Yeah,
I think we left at 6.
So 8:00 this time. But at 6:00 Colorado, we were like, okay, well let's get on the road. We want to beat the traffic. We beat the fucking traffic.
There was nobody. We had nobody on the road.
Beat it hard. We got into.
We were expecting. Oh my God, Josh.
We got into Wyoming. We got near our destination roughly around 11.
Yeah.
It was really early. Like, we had plenty of time.
Yeah, so we decided to go to our, like we said on the podcast, we ended up doing a...
Jared didn't have signal the entire time, mind you.
Yeah, he lost signal for the whole eclipse. Like,
yeah, for
the whole
2 days
trip,
straight.
For 2 days.
For his phone. He runs T-Mobile.
T-Mobile, yeah.
Yeah.
But we actually, when we were driving through Wyoming, we have Verizon, and we didn't have signal for like an hour or
spots,
two.
Yeah. I'm going to say this, Brett. You were talking about insurance cards. I'm not going to get to the specific as far as why we needed it,
When
but
was I talking about that?
it's on your phone.
Like you said that you were going to carry it in the car.
Yeah, okay.
Jared
My car
didn't
insurance.
have service for him to access his. He wanted to have it just in case or whatever.
Sure.
So we had this whole spiel where he tried to get onto his... He had an image of it on his phone or on his Google Drive, so he had to try to sign into mine, and it was just a whole mess. He had to wind up calling his agent to email it to me.
Because he's the one that had service.
Why did he need it?
I'm not going to say specifics,
Yeah, we'll go
but
into
in
it.
general, like you were saying how technology is so great in that sense, it wasn't.
That time
Yeah,
wasn't.
it wasn't.
Yeah. So
He
having...
didn't even have like an old insurance card.
Well,
in
I
the car.
may not have said it when we were talking about it, but given the situation, you may not want to rely solely on
Exactly.
that. It's more
Yeah.
of a convenience factor.
And what we could have had him download it beforehand.
Yeah,
like,
it's one thing you just
we just didn't think about.
He did.
that.
We
We
were,
also forgot the chairs too.
I know.
We had no
were
chairs to sit on.
We were really smart though, or he was really smart though, and downloaded Google Maps though.
All the maps.
All the maps. So
for
when we
Wyoming
didn't have
and-
service, he at least still had the maps.
Yeah.
So that was a good idea.
Um,
Anyways, so we got to Lusk.
Yes, we got to Lusk.
We got to Lusk. So we decided, we talked about this a couple podcasts ago about what we bought. So we did a Airbnb purchase where it was off of someone's working ranch, and they were pretty much renting out part of their land for you to sleep on.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was a camper or a tent, anything, pretty much just like, hey, come stay on our land. We're in the path of totality. I think it was like what he said, like $190.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
$190 for one night.
For one night. And then that was supposed to include a campfire that night, with song and horseback riding, canoeing, a pond or something for swimming.
And this is Sunday night.
This is Sunday night.
Okay. Sunday afternoon.
Well, I mean, we got there at like 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Check-in was supposed to be at 3. That's the other thing, is we weren't supposed to check in until 3, but we were in contact with the person that owned the ranch and said, hey, we wanted to beat traffic. Is that okay? And they said, yes, set up wherever you want along the river is what they said.
It wasn't much of a river.
So we pull in to this ranch, and we automatically were like, is this really where we're staying? Because it looked like, I mean, it was kind of what I thought was going to look like.
Not me.
But it was like deserted.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing.
You know, a ranch is just a big open space that belongs to somebody.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something else. Wyoming has nothing but that.
There's nothing.
There's nothing.
Nothing
Not
out
even
there.
crops for most of the state.
Like it's flat. Like it looked like you could see the end of the world. Like it was the most boring drive ever. I thought driving through Wyoming, or not Wyoming, Iowa. Whenever we go to like South Dakota or wherever, we have to drive like 7 hours through Iowa. Like I hate doing it. I will take Iowa any day over driving through Wyoming. And I didn't even drive. I was in the car.
Dumbest area, like the drive itself. No service.
Well,
and
people who like isolation.
Oh, I'm sure. But it's just like...
But that's the thing. You don't even see where people are living in this state.
There's not even houses.
There's no houses near any of the highways. It's hard. It's like...
For miles, hours, nothing.
So Jared said the funniest thing. Right as soon as we got into Wyoming, or right when we were getting into Lusk, he's like, you could hide a dead body out here. I was like... we're going camping with you, sir.
No, it was obviously...
What about gas stations?
Not miles.
Yeah.
Miles,
So
hours.
you gotta plan ahead.
Well,
Yes, and Jared did.
and anytime we passed by a gas station, we automatically just filled up no matter what.
Jared was just afraid every single place was going to run out of gas because of how much traffic that happened.
There was one person that we talked to that when we pulled over said that they were expecting over 100,000 people in their county alone to show up because additional to what they have.
I think he said 200.
100,000.
He only said one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyways, we get to Lusk and population like 1,500. This is a very small town. And
I mean, it was reasonable. I was like, if they have a Subway, I'll be impressed. They had a Subway. They had a Subway.
Like a Subway restaurant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyways, so we get there, we get to the ranch, and then we end up having to call the person. We're like, because there was no house. I mean, there was a house, but it was like a walking distance up on a hill.
It was at least a quarter to a half a mile away.
Yeah, it was a while. It was a while away.
It was a ways.
It was a ways away. But pretty much we pulled in and we're like, where do we park? There was like nowhere to drive. So we called up the person, and they were stuck in traffic somewhere like a ways away.
A while away.
A ways away. And they said, you know what? Yes, you're in the right spot. You're describing it. You can pretty much set up camp anywhere along the river. So they said, okay, great. So we're trying to find the river. And we're like, it looks more like a creek.
It's very small.
It's like very small.
I would say the water running was like a sprinkle on a faucet.
Yeah. So so we walked around. There's cow shit and horse shit everywhere.
Oh.
So we had to find a place to camp.
I was the one complaining about
setting up camp.
Yeah.
We had to it was a nice big open field, but you just had to look
there
out
was
for
shit everywhere.
Landmines pretty much. And so the other thing that got me is it was so hot. And it was so hot
and windy,
and very windy. And there was we set up the tent first, which we got this big, nice 6-person tent. It was amazing. Lots of room. We could stand up all the way inside of it. It was really big. It looked like a mini house.
Tent. Yeah.
So we get that set up. That was nice and easy to put together. And afterwards, we're like, all right, what do we want to do? It's only noon. Well, we're gonna go eat first, but then after that, let's kind of like scout out the area, see what there is, like check out the animals, because they had told Jared on the phone, feel free to go into the barn, play with the animals, and scout out the area, walk around, and there's also a pond that you can jump into and swim in and all this other stuff. I'm like, oh, okay.
Did we take a picture of the pond?
I don't think so.
The pond was so gross.
So we're looking around for this pond because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm excited. I told her, I was like, guys, they said there'd be swimming and canoeing and all this other stuff. So I'm like waiting to see like this huge pond, and he said, they said it's towards the east of the creek. So we're walking around along the creek, and we're like, is this it? Because she said there would be like almost like a drop off, and where you could almost like jump into the pond. This looked like sludge,
and it was about the size of our upstairs.
Yeah, it was really tiny, and like there was sludge coming
It's not sludge, Alex. It's just like a green.
Well, I know it was like
kind
algae or whatever, but you could also tell there was shit in it.
Yeah,
I'm like, this is where you were late. I'm like, a canoe is gonna take up this whole thing. I'm like, where's the freaking canoes? So I was like, we were joking, and Josh actually picked me up. He's like, all right, Alex, time to go in.
Yeah, she had I picked her up, and I was ready to toss her. She had no defense.
No, I was like, if you throw me in, I will kill you.
Were you really gonna?
I thought about it, but I wasn't sure.
Jared actually stood back because he's usually the one like at a pool setting. He'll usually take me and throw me in the pool. I was like, I actually grabbed onto him. And I was like, if you let me, I'm like, I'm gonna kill you. Like I was freaking out.
Yeah.
So anyways, we ended up looking for a place to eat, and the person on the phone said, you should check out this pizza place called
The Pizza Place
in town, which is 2 minutes down the road, by the way.
Yeah.
In town. And it ended up being like, I guess it's on like America's top
50 pizza places in the U.S.
And we checked it out. It's super nice and
delicious.
Really good.
The best pizza I've had in my life.
Yes, it's.
I want to say.
I'd say the top 3.
It's in my tops.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Small side note.
Yeah.
There's a new pizza place in town that is supposedly the fastest growing franchise in America right now.
What is it?
Called Blaze Pizza.
Okay.
It's on Coliseum and Coldwater.
Oh, I'm interested.
Have to check that out.
Yeah.
Is it over by the mini golf place?
No,
Bobix?
Right beside IHOP, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Right there at Coliseum and Coldwater.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, right next to Eyeglass World or whatever.
Yep. Wait.
Or did it take over Eyeglass World?
No, I'm not sure. I know it's right around
It's in that intersection where all the accidents happen.
Anywho,
so we ate there. That was delicious. And then pretty much right after that, we were like, we need to go back and we need to take a nap because we've been up for too long. So we go into the tent. We go back to the ranch. We actually scouted out. There's farm animals there. They've got like 4 bulls.
Oh my gosh, bulls.
Bulls.
One of them not castrated, so he'll kick your ass.
He's a big black bull. Like he was big. Then there was one cow, like a
milking cow.
A milking cow, and then a calf. Not like a tiny calf. It was like, I don't know.
It must have been born like last winter, maybe.
I don't know. It was like half the size of the other one. You could tell it was a baby.
Yeah.
There was 2 pigs and like 9 horses.
Yep.
Which all of them like.
And we'll get to the horses too in a minute too.
We'll get to the
that
horses.
got pretty crazy.
It did?
I'll get to it. I'll talk about it.
So anyway, so we decided to check out, or we decided to go to sleep. So we set up the mattress and everything in the tent and went to fall asleep. And that sun just didn't matter how much wind was blowing through. It was hot. And it was not even the heat of the day yet. So the three of us laying together trying to take a nap in the sun. Yeah. Did not work. We even tried putting up the rain fly to go over it for the shade. Didn't work. It
helped. It kept the additional heat out, yeah. But it stayed hot.
But it was way too hot. So I got on my phone and I was Googling to see if they had like a local pool.
And they do.
And it was a very decent big pool with a water slide, diving board.
I'll say the cost of everything was a little bit cheaper than Fort Wayne.
Yeah, it was like $2 to get in.
I mean, for the pool, yeah, but I'm talking about food and stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty decently priced. So we went there, jumped in the pool, went down the slide, had a good time for a couple hours, and then got hit on by a lifeguard.
Yeah, Alex got hit on by a guy
half my age.
Yeah. Wait, I don't think he was
half your age.
Well, he
might have been like 17, 16. That's normally when they hire lifeguards, right?
So 12 years younger than I am.
Yeah, whatever.
But either way, so I got hit on by a lifeguard. That was funny. And then so after that, we decided to go back to the ranch and
no. First, Jared wanted to see if there was an eclipse event going on at the county.
Oh, you're going to talk about that?
So I'm going to talk about that first
you
too.
talk about that real
So
quick.
Jared drives to the county grounds, fairgrounds or whatever, and it seems like a lot of people are gone. Like he thought that there'd be a lot of people here for this speaker from NASA that was supposed to be there. He was there. I don't know which time he was there. So Jared drives around, and then there's these two police officers walking with their families, and he's just he rolls down his window, and he's like, "Is this where the eclipse is happening?"
What?
The
wrong. And the cop looked at him he's like, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff happening. It's kind of all over the place, really. And Jared kind of grabbed his face. He's like, I mean, the events. Is this where the events are happening? But he asked it just out of the nowhere, just is this where the eclipse is happening?
It's there's about 2,000 miles is where, or more than that.
The pause
2,000
that the
miles.
cop had was just it's kind of happening everywhere.
So yeah,
so funny.
We went back and what did we do for dinner? Did we just eat?
We ended up just eating the leftovers.
Pizza. We wound up drinking and playing some card games.
Yeah, we played some Exploding Kittens,
which is a very fun card game.
In the tent.
The tent.
We had lanterns up and everything.
What about the whole kumbaya?
So that's what we're gonna get to. Is
that night?
Yes,
before we started drinking,
we decided we were supposed to get at least a dinner. They were talking about. We even got told when we pulled up that there was gonna be a brisket made around 7. And I guess the person that we've been keeping in contact with, they told us if you have to use the bathroom in the barn is now broken, so just go into our house, which, like I said, was half a mile away pretty much.
And you don't walk into someone else's house.
She said, go into our house. Our son is there. Just go in and use the bathroom or get anything that you need.
No.
Yeah, it's a little...
No, not doing that. Especially out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
We haven't even met these people yet.
Sure. Right.
And we never did. We never met them. So anyways, we decided,
Jared and I did.
Okay.
We met the husband.
You met the husband, that's right.
So we went up to the house first, and we were knocking on the door. This is about 8 o'clock at night. We weren't sure if anybody was...
So the sun's starting to go down, and we're they said 7 o'clock, so we go up there. Nothing. There's nobody. We're knocking on windows and stuff, and nobody's answering. There's one light on. There's a bunch of cars, it's a ranch. There's a bunch of empty vacant cars and stuff everywhere.
So Alex was creeped out.
I was really creeped out because we were out in the middle of nowhere and I still haven't met these people, and we're just are we getting fed? Is there a campfire starting?
There's more to it that we're not going to say on the podcast.
Yeah,
that Alex was freaked out about.
I was pretty much just I was being funny and then also just
scaring yourself,
scaring myself,
and Jared.
So, anyways, we just decided to walk back to the tent. We're screw it. We have food. We packed just in case. We bought we packed bread and sandwiches and chips and all that stuff. So
we had stuff ready.
We had stuff ready. So we'll just go back to the tent. And that's when Jared and Josh met up actually with the husband and said, hey, if you guys want to come back down, she feels really bad. We just got back.
This was about 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock now. It's pitch black out.
Not yet. It's getting there.
Just about.
Jared had to use his light to get back to the tent.
Yeah, we had to use some kind of torchlight to come back. And I guess the husband told him oh yeah, come back up around 9 o'clock or whatever, and we'll have dinner ready. And we pretty much like we didn't have like I guess we kind of forgot to ask like are you coming to get us and tell us it's ready or are we phoning or but we pretty much never heard from him.
Yep.
So now it's like 10 o'clock and we're like now it's pitch black outside. We're not walking or no, well we had that pizza that we had was
it was full of calories. I'll tell you that.
It kept us full for a while. So we ended up just saying screw it. We're just gonna eat whatever we have in the tent, which it's way too much to go all the way out there. It's 10 o'clock at night. It's too late for that kind of a dinner, and it's pitch black outside.
What are we sitting at for time, Brett?
We're at 50.
Oh, okay, we got some time.
I really don't want to go up there and meet these people in like non-daylight. Like that's just it's just not safe. Yeah. So anyways, we go back to the tent. We have some drinks.
Alex got drunk.
We had like half a bottle of vodka. And I don't drink very often anymore.
No, neither do I.
So anyways, we played a card game and then we ended up freaking each other out a little bit because it's dark and we're starting to tell stories.
Jared started hearing something next to the tent.
Like it almost sounded like there was a horse. Like a horse or something walking by. Because I was like, I thought they were all like caged in, like fenced. And I'm like, but I was like, guys, there's cow pies everywhere. Are we going to get trampled like in the middle of the night? Or there's going to be just like roaming animals? So what really scared us is like, there is no crickets or anything. Like it is silent out here. And all of a sudden we hear,
a few times.
And it sounded like the horses were just freaked. Like, it was so scary. Or just,
so Jared and
I were like
hit the tent.
He was like, shh, be quiet. Whack! Like hit the tent. And like he's like, sometimes when I'm camping, if I hear something, I'll hit the tent and you'll hear something run away.
Yeah.
So, but he like whack and like scared us.
So we wound up going to sleep, and I want to say roughly about 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. Jared started talking in his sleep.
He started talking in his sleep.
All of a sudden, he's just like, hey.
And Josh and I were both awake for it. He was like laying on his back and he just, hey! Which is funny because he woke up and he said he was actually, when we told him about that, he's like, that's weird because I was dreaming something was outside the tent and I was yelling, hey, and trying to hit the tent.
I was like, damn,
He was having a stress dream while we were camping.
Yeah. But before we get to the eclipse part, I will say camping was fine.
It was fine.
I wouldn't say I do it all the time, but it was fine. It got really cold.
I wondered if it got cold.
Jer had a sleeping bag that was rated to 20 degrees Fahrenheit, or negative 20, or is it 20 degrees Fahrenheit?
Like I think 16 was the lowest that it went.
Yeah, so you can be in this sleeping bag and it could be 20 degrees outside or lower and you'll still be warm.
Like it was really
so he had a nice
tent.
So he had a nice sleeping bag. We had we had an air mattress with a sheet and a quilt.
A quilt.
Yep.
Oh, that ain't warm enough.
Well, I mean, it was until Josh. So, like, I was on my left side and Josh was spooning me, and for most of the night, I was nice and warm. And in the middle of the night, he grabs the covers and just pulls everything off. And I was in a tank top and some like pajama pants, and all of a sudden, I was like, cold. Like it felt like it was like 30 degrees out there, and I was like,
you should have hit me or something.
I pushed you and tried, and finally I just like ripped the damn blanket off of you, and I think Jerry actually opened up his eyes and smiled. He's like, oh. That was like in the middle of the night.
So as far as the morning went, we woke up and we had we went to a cafe.
They told us our neighbors. We did have some neighbors camping next to us that left like
way early.
But they had said that they talked to the people and said that they were thinking about, had mentioned possibly even making breakfast for us. So we kind of sat around and waited for a call or some kind of thing for them to knock on our tent and say, hey, breakfast is ready. Nothing. So we're like, okay. So we decided to go into town bright and early to get breakfast. Everybody else had the same fucking idea.
Bad idea.
The town, like in the hotels, everything was no vacancy. Like
all
it was
over the place.
Packed. The people that live in the town were not ready for this.
Nope.
I mean, and they were just tiny little, like, one cook kind of place, and there's thousands of people here.
Yeah. So we went to this one cafe place. They had over an hour wait. And they only had like maybe 10 tables. It was a very small place. Yeah, it was
very small.
So then we drove down the road a little bit, went to another place, and we got in pretty close to almost immediately.
Yeah, pretty close.
And then as we were sitting down, it took forever for us to get served and our food and everything, which I'll have to say this cafe does not rate high on the star level for their food quality.
Especially compared to like going to the pizza place
the
day before. This was like at the bottom
even though we have breakfast, which is a completely different meal.
You can't really I can't say you can't mess up breakfast.
They did.
But they did. Like, all three of us, like, we were not feeling good after breakfast.
No.
And all we had was just, like, eggs and toast.
I had an omelet, just a basic ham and cheese omelet, and I hated it.
Like, after breakfast, like, I went to the bathroom, I came back, and then Jared went to the bathroom, and Josh, like, leans over, and he's like, is your stomach okay? And I'm like, not really. Are yours? And he's like, no, apparently me and Jared, our bellies hurt. I'm like, yeah. I don't know if they just kind of sped through and cooked stuff, to get it on the table, but
the ham
they sat us
gross.
at they were just sitting people to put people in the seats. So we didn't get our own table. We sat at like a table for 6, and they're like, hey, can you split this table? And we sat with a stranger.
Just
like,
one guy. It was
one guy.
He was on the other end of another table.
But other people, like, they were being sat, like, 4 people here, another 3 people here, like, just to get people
Families
in the
were
seats.
split up and everything.
Weird.
It was a nutso time. Not only that, Alyx hated this fucking woman that was at the register. She was loud and obnoxious.
I wanted to leave just because she was being so rude.
Oh, not only rude, but she was very obnoxious.
Like, we went up there and we're like, do you know how long the wait is? No, I don't know how long the wait is. You're just going to have to, like, when a seat comes up, we've got people coming in, people leaving. You just wait. I'm like, Jesus. I'm like,
I don't know. And it's hard to, I don't know if she worked there. Maybe she was volunteering because she left like halfway through her shift or something, it seemed.
It looks like she was a volunteer.
So halfway through our meal, after that experience, we're like, well, whatever, we'll just deal with it. After that experience, we were sitting there eating, and all of a sudden this woman comes into the restaurant with a handful of those eclipse glasses. Everybody got your glasses? She was like yelling it. Everybody need glasses?
Like, we
Anybody
were
need
all
glasses?
like really silent watching TV and stuff. Who needs glasses?
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
Jeez.
And not only that, like the TVs, every single station practically had stuff about the eclipse on. Every single station.
And you turn on the TV right then.
And it might have been even local stuff because
it was about 15 minutes or more like a half an hour until first contact. So we wanted to get the heck out of there because we wanted to see the whole thing. So we decided to get our butts, like, go to the bathroom, brush our teeth at the place, and then get our butts back to the tent, drop the tent, and then just so we're ready for everything.
Yep.
So that's what we did. We went back there, dropped the tent, got everything packed up and ready. Jared had his professional camera with him, so he had it all angled up, taking a time lapse with a special lens. He
only did a little bit of time lapse. He didn't do the actual eclipse.
He did like the first half, like to the partial, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then he took his camera for right before the eclipse. Like, I think he recorded maybe the 30 minutes before, 40 minutes.
No, not just before, like during the entirety of it.
Well, yeah, but he angled it not up at the sky, but to watch because we were on a flat land, but to watch the darkness kind of go over the land.
Oh my gosh.
It's oh my gosh. When he edits that and makes it like good so you can see what it is.
Get good.
We're going to have to put it up because it's amazing.
What was that line? Reactions. What was that line? It was America's Descent.
It was America's Midday Descent into Darkness.
Yeah, that's what the news called it.
Yeah, so I've been using that on everything because I thought that was awesome.
America's Midday Descent into Darkness. Sounds like an album cover or an album.
Yeah, we get this. Okay, so now we can talk about the eclipse. This was easily the
most breathtaking
experience. There's not even really a word. Like, eerie, exciting, adrenaline rush, like incredible experience I've ever seen.
I can't have words for
it. Like, there's not words to describe. Like, I saw people from here in Fort Wayne that were, it got a little dark, and then they had the pictures with the sunglasses on, and you guys got to see like a little bit of darkness in like the partial eclipse.
It got cold.
It dropped like easily 20 degrees.
Yep.
And it was 11:45 in the morning, like for us to watch this. So bright and early in the day, sun shining, not a cloud in the sky.
We had the best weather.
The perfect time. We didn't have any neighbors. We were out there all by ourselves. Nothing.
Yep. So that's exactly what we wanted. And right as soon as the moon went over the sun, I immediately had to just scream and put my arms up. I was like, yes.
We all did. Like, it was not what I expected at all. It was like 100 times better than I expected. I thought like, it's going to be cool to see the moon in front of the sun. Like, it's probably going to look really weird. It's going to be a little dark. No, this was like,
no camera can get this.
No camera can capture what we saw. All the cameras light up the sky brighter than it was. My camera, like all the footage that I have, because I took little 30-second video, because we only had 1:52 of the actual full totality. But, I mean, we spend the first 40 minutes with the glasses on, so it blocks out everything else, but all you see is like a little orange dot with like the black of the moon coming in. And then Jer had this NASA app on his phone. So at big points in time, it would say something like, 40 minutes until totality. You start to see this and this and this. And then we got down to it would say 5 minutes until totality. Start knowing severe drop in temperature, darkness, animal behavior, shadow bending. And then that was when I looked down. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, because it got significantly darker. It almost looked like an Instagram filter, like the way that the darkness was, like a dark Instagram filter. Let me
describe this, Brett. So look out the window now. You see the sunset, the colors?
Yeah.
Like off
it was
to the
that
side.
All around us.
It was
all around
pretty much
us.
this dark right before totality.
Or during.
No, it was dark.
Yeah, it was.
You could see the stars.
Yeah, I could at least see a few stars in the sky.
The sky was black, and then the horizon looked like the sun was setting, but the sun was up here.
And the sun was setting all around you because it would change the color of the horizon from your vantage point. So you could turn around and look like the sun's setting behind you. You could turn to your left and look like it's setting that way. It was all around. Yeah, because right above you is where the darkness was happening, and
everything was silent. Like a lot of people here were talking about how birds and crickets were out. We were out in the middle of nowhere, and we didn't really hear any of that. The only thing that we saw animal wise or insect wise that was crazy was after the sun started or the moon started to go past after the totality and everything lit back up.
Dogs started barking, and there's like nighttime bugs that fly around. Like you could see them all of a sudden, and they were just going crazy, and then they went back down to the ground. Yeah. That was pretty much it. But the actual totality part, where like it's so hard to describe. I can't describe it.
You could see these. It was like this big black thing. Like it looked like something that wasn't real. It looked like I was seeing something fake. Like I didn't want to believe it.
So scientific.
If I did not know what this was, like hundreds of years ago, if I was back there 100 years ago when this happened, this would scare the shit out of me.
So the thing about the path of totality is Jared told us about this story about many years ago. There were these two feuds going on between two countries, and there was a war. And then the path of totality went on the battlefield. They dropped their arms and stopped fighting because they thought that it was something like religious.
A sign from God or something.
This is how extreme and crazy this looks. I can't even describe it. Like, it's just a black circle with a white, shiny silver ring, and you'll see some bends of the sun. It's just crazy.
Like, it looked like little, finger-like projections of light that you could see moving around the circle.
Yeah.
Like, bright. And then the other cool thing about it was the diamond effect that you get from it. So
they call it the diamond ring effect.
The diamond ring effect. So you got, like, right when the moon's moving out, like, away from the sun, the bend of light goes around it was like right before you have to put your glasses back on. There's a bend of light that just shoots around the moon real quick, and it kind of gives it a sparkle, like a big sparkle.
Like a big lens
And, like,
flare.
all of a sudden, everything lights back up again.
Yep. And it was probably the craziest 2 minutes of my life.
I will definitely tweet out, Facebook out. I don't know if I can do Instagram or not, but I have the actual reaction to Josh and Jara and I on film of it actually happening from like 20 seconds until about 20 seconds after. It's like maybe a 30-second video, but of it happening, and then I shoot my camera up. You can't really see it because your camera your camera phone just does not capture it. It lights everything up, actually. It makes it look 10 times brighter than it really is because it's trying to adapt to the darkness. But you could hear the excitement and like the scaredness in my voice because it's like I was like, I'm getting chills thinking about it. Like it was scary almost to see because you can't just look up at you can stare at the sun. It was just so weird. And apparently there's another one happening that's going to go through here.
It's going to go through Ohio and Southern Indiana
in 2024, I believe.
7 years, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think it'd be the experience that we had out in the middle of nowhere where it was just the three of us and there was no clouds in the sky. I feel like we got like the best view that we could have ever done. So it didn't matter that we didn't get any of those. I'm going to mess up the word. Amenities.
Amenities.
Yeah. It didn't matter that we paid for all that.
She wound up refunding Jerry some money.
Yeah.
So
wow.
It was fine in a sense. I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily whether or not I would go back there. I mean, unless there was a big reason for me to go back there. The only place that I was really impressed in Lusk was the fucking pizza place.
Yeah.
That was just the best I've ever had. And it actually had an award in like 2014 or something where they were considered one of the top pizza places in the US or whatever. So so we're breaking up the conversation. You had some other things you wanted to add.
We just need to get going. It's 1:05.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
We got a couple of tattoo to talk about.
That's okay. That's okay.
Alyx is on a roll here.
No. We're done with the eclipse.
We're done with the eclipse.
The drive back?
The drive back, though, it's supposed to be a 3.5-hour drive. Stop, go from Lusk to Wyoming, 8.5 hours.
I mean Lusk to Denver.
Lusk to Denver, 8.5 hours in a manual car.
3-hour drive turned into 8.
Jared's foot hurt, like his knee from pumping the clutch.
Yeah.
He's like, we tried back roads, and then those would be like stop, go. I think our average speed for the 8.5 hours was 20 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And we left 15 minutes after the eclipse. Not even.
Before we get to the tattoo conversation, Alex and I we did a little bit of playing and watching. I'll just mention some stuff that we did. Did you do anything over the week? Anything? We watched the first 5 episodes of Rick and Morty of season 3. That was really awesome to see all that. They're doing it very well on that show. I'm really enjoying it a lot. But the other thing that we watched was the latest episode of Game of Thrones, which was episode 6.
I believe.
Yeah, episode 6.
Yeah.
Yep. And the thing about this episode is HBO accidentally leaked it like half a week early. And I don't know if anybody knew that. Like,
I think a lot of people knew because it's all over Facebook.
I mean, nobody told me, but I found it on like 9gag and stuff like that, like Friday or Saturday before we left and all that. But this episode was great. Really good episode. They're really doing a lot.
I actually ended up punching Jer.
Because he called the ending?
He called the ending. Like, he called the ending halfway through. He's like, wouldn't it be really bad if this happened? I'm like, you shut your mouth. And then it happened. And I was like, fuck you. It was so bad.
Yeah, it was, I'm not really enjoying.
And then the end. The very end.
The very end. Well, yeah, I know that. That was what Jared was saying.
You said that
and I also said that it got spoiled for me from social media. And, I was going to say something about it. I'm not really enjoying this season as much as last season. I know there's a lot more happening this one, but I'm not as attached to the characters this time.
I am
around.
I think I'm more attached, actually.
I can't be. Like I'm just imagining someone dying because George R.R. Martin hates fans. So
no. Anyways, I'm super stoked for Sunday.
Sunday's the last episode,
super stoked.
Game of Thrones, and then Brett,
I'm
you
stoked.
Don't have to be bored with our Game of Thrones.
I'm stoked, and
chat.
I'm also like,
by the way,
pissed.
Did you see that Netflix announced season 3 of Stranger Things?
What?
Already?
Yeah.
Well, they kind of have to.
Why?
They lost most of their Disney stuff. They have to push their.
And they want to end the series with a season 4.
Oh,
so there's going to be a full 4 seasons?
Yeah.
I'm fine
That's
with
okay.
that.
I mean, 4 seasons, if they can go a 5th, that'd be okay. But, I mean, you don't, like Breaking Bad, less is more. Yeah. Like, they only went 5.5 seasons. There's 6 seasons.
They could have even stopped where they were.
What, Stranger Things?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, Netflix wouldn't do that.
No, I know they wouldn't, but I would have been even satisfied with it. Like, I would have wanted more, but it's like, it was that good where...
It's their flagship
They could have
series.
even... They could have stopped it, or they could have kept going, and either way, it would have been
Actually,
good.
that's argumentative. Daredevil's pretty close,
I
too.
wouldn't call it a flagship. It was a sleeper.
Like, you didn't know it was going to be that awesome.
Yeah,
kind of like Daredevil. You were like, okay, yeah, sure, Daredevil. You watch the first couple episodes, you're like, whoa.
I don't know. I mean, that's a Marvel series, so I don't count it. It's not original.
It's not going anywhere else.
It is original, but it's not. Whereas I don't.
Oh, I get it. Like,
I don't think Stranger Things is based on.
It's not, and I thought it was.
Yeah.
Like, I seriously it felt like a Stephen King novel out of the dark there. But we're going to get into Alex's exciting conversation, and Brett has some questions for you, too. Tuesday morning, or afternoon, actually.
Yesterday.
Yesterday, as time of recording, Alex got a tattoo for the first time ever, and she's so stoked. You can kind of, like, show it to the camera-ish.
It's going to be difficult.
Yeah, you're not really going to see it very well from that far away.
I'll post pictures on social media.
Yeah, and if you're watching on YouTube as well, I'll also put a photo up on our what we're talking about.
I actually took my bandage off a little bit before the podcast, so it looks really cool.
I mean, is it a story to tell, and I'll ask my questions as I get to them, or?
I think you could just ask your questions, and then maybe it might lead into some of the story.
How long did it take?
An hour.
Really?
Yeah. This guy was pretty good.
The actual like
setup and
the watercolor for I was in the chair for 2 hours. Okay. The actual tattoo itself was an hour. The setup and the consultation and everything, where he was really trying to get why I'm getting it, like kind of the inspiration of it, like so we could really figure out what I wanted. And then it was positioning and size and just trying to get what it was up here in my head on where I wanted it and how I wanted it. That was that was the really tough thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so
how do you handle the pain?
Okay, so I put the pain tolerance on a pedestal. Like, I thought that on a scale 1 to 10, 10 being like the worst pain ever, I thought that just because I've never had a tattoo before, I've only had piercings. I've just heard so much of this side and then this side. There's people that are like, oh, you know, it hurts, but it's not that bad. But it hurts. And then you also hear the people go, oh my God, it hurts. I'm never getting another one again. So I'm like, you know what? And that's what it was for piercings. And piercings, I handled
piercings
like it was
are over real quick.
And that's I know that's why it was easy to get piercings. Like when I got my belly button done when I was 16. I mean, it hurt only because the guy was fumbling around with my belly button afterwards to try to put the ball on. And my nose, I thought my nose was going to hurt like hell. It bled, but it didn't hurt.
Yeah.
So this, like, so the actual, we finally get the stencil on, and he's like, now, is this what you want? Go stand in the mirror, put your arms down. So I was also telling him, you know, I want it to, so that way if I put like a coat or something on or a long sleeve, I can cover it. And if I have to pull my sleeve up, I usually only pull it up to about here, just in case for some reasons, you know, professionalism, if I need to cover it. So he understood that part of it. He's like, go stand in the mirror, put your arms down and up, really get a feel for what you think. But because I have watercolor behind this symbol, he had to stencil out the watercolor. So it was he had to pretty much outline where the watercolor was going to be. So it didn't really look, I still couldn't picture it. So I was like still going, I don't know. But he had my concept up on a screen behind him. And he's like, how about this? We're just going to kind of freehand some of I'm going to stencil out pretty much as far out as your watercolor is going to go. And then we'll go with it because I knew he was really good with watercolor because I saw his work. And he's like, I'm just going to ask you questions during it, what colors you want to pop and where and whatnot. And we're just going to go with it. I'm like, sounds great. And
you almost said no.
I did. I almost talked myself out of it only because I got myself so worked up. And I'm like, oh my God, it's going to suck. It's going to suck. Like, and it was more the pain part. I think I put the pain up on the pedestal. And
you still haven't answered that question.
So I did not.
Right?
My anxiety and my nervousness.
She was a wreck.
I was a wreck. I was like, it would come in waves, and then eventually, like, I just told Josh and Jer, I don't want you guys to look at me. Like, you guys
we couldn't even see her get it done.
No, I did. I was like,
we stopped up and saw it later, like during and
the last
at the
5
end.
minutes they watched it.
Yeah.
But I'd made like a Linkin Park playlist, like a tattoo playlist to listen to. I'm like, all right, if it gets bad, just you know, listen to those lyrics, kind of thing. Like, and he sat down in front of me, and he grabbed my arm and put it up on the thing, and he's like, all right, so the thing about tattoos, especially your first one, I'm going to need you to breathe. And I was like, he has set me up for failure right now. No, he's like freaking me out. He's like, if at any point in time you feel lightheaded, dizzy, that you're going to faint or black out or throw up, let me know. I'd much rather you tell me than it just happened.
I seem to remember the guy that was doing mine. He would ask me every few minutes, you know, are you doing all right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Alyx didn't want to talk the entire time.
I didn't want to talk the entire time because of my nerves. And he's like, all right, are you ready? Because I'm going to go ahead and start the outline. And that usually is the part that hurts the most. And I'm going to start on your outer wrist. And that's what's going to hurt the most. I'm like, I kind of like got like down in to my chair. I was like, I just need to get comfortable. Because I also had to have my arm twisted.
Yeah.
So I had to get comfortable. And I'm like, I'd put my playlist on. I'm like, all right, getting into the music. All right, just go ahead. And I grabbed onto the chair waiting for that first thing. And I was like, and he started, and I'm like, okay, wait. And I'm like waiting for it to hurt. Really. I mean, honestly, I was waiting for it to hurt. And I'm like, I looked over at him and I said, he's like, are you okay? I'm like, is this what it's going to feel like the whole time? And he said, well, yeah, pretty much. And I'm like, and he said, how are you doing? I'm like, this doesn't hurt. Like, I mean, it stings, but.
It's almost more like discomfort than pain.
I don't even know if I'd say that.
Well, for her, I mean, it's all personal preference.
Sure.
I mean, I know everyone's pain scale is different, but on a scale 1 to 10, I mean, I put this at a 3 or 4.
I think now that I think back on it, I think it was more painful or more discomfort, or whatever word you want to use, afterwards. Like,
well, yeah.
Home.
Well, yeah. Alex is in pain now.
No, it's not that.
Well,
if I were to touch it, which I'm
when
not
you
going
put the
to.
soap on.
Yeah, that was a little painful. But the actual part that hurt the most was after he was done. I thought even the wiping and stuff, I didn't stare at it for the longest time because I was like, oh my God, it's going to bleed a lot. And every time I look at it, there'd be like a drop of blood. But he was really good about doing like, bzz, wipe, bzz, wipe. And I thought that part was going to hurt. And it really didn't. It actually felt good for him to wipe it. And then the part that hurt the most was at the very end. He had like rubbed some stuff on it, and then he dabbed it, and then he's like, all right, now you're pretty much gonna yell at me here, but I have to soak this in alcohol. Like, so he took a a sterile pad, sprayed it with alcohol, and then he just put it on and wiped it really hard. I know you don't like to be touched, but he wiped it like really hard, and I like grabbed the chair. I was like, "Why would you do that?"
So it doesn't turn into a big disgusting infected
I know,
mess.
but it was like
exactly.
I went from loving you to hating you in a second.
Did you get a photo of when you had the bandage on, like how much it pooled, like like today? Alex
really.
took off the bandage because you couldn't see anything. It was just a black pool.
So I got there's either, I've heard you get either cloth on it or a plastic wrap, which is, I pretty much had plastic wrap. It was a sticky bandage, almost like, he says they get them from like hospitals. They use them for like post-surgery, like to put over incisions. So he put that over, and probably within 15-20 minutes it started to ooze. He said there'd be like some dark plasma looking stuff, clear plasma, it'll mix with some of my ink. And by the time we got home in the morning, you almost couldn't see my tattoo because of how much junk had built up.
So much goop.
Sure.
So he told me like at the most keep it on 20, or at the least keep it on 24 hours, at the most no more than 48. But I sent him a picture of it this morning. I'm like, is that normal? He's like, yeah, but if you can, I'd keep it on just a few more hours, and you could take it off and wash it.
One thing I will not look up is pictures of like
tattoos gone wrong.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
I started to go through like because I couldn't remember everything that he told me to do, obviously, because I was like kind of an adrenaline rush. And I went online today to like look up how to wash it because I couldn't remember. Mm-hmm. And I looked up on Google, and it said something like tattoo infection, something. I'm like, nope, don't want to see it.
I saw you have Aquaphor there in the bathroom.
Yeah, so
that's what I use.
A lot of I got actually a lot of the advice from Jared, because he's got a lot of tattoos, a lot of big tattoos.
1, 2, 3,
so
4, 5,
he told me to
6.
use Aquaphor and some kind of foamy, non-fragrance, non-alcohol based like
soap,
dial soap.
Yeah,
sure.
So
actually, no, he said soft soap.
Well, I couldn't find any, so I just did Dial. I mean, it's a different brand, whatever.
Yeah.
And then he said after using the ointment, I think for like a week, I have not Lubriderm, but it's like another kind of like moisturizing, non-fragrance, blah 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 blah, kind of like a big bottle. I think it's called like Enterderm or something like that. And he said to use that afterwards, like after I go through like a dry, flaky stage.
Yeah.
So I'm still kind of worried about like the progress of my tattoo, but I've heard like the biggest thing is do not scratch and do not pick at it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I still like doing is just like getting any kind of moisturizer and just rubbing it on there because it makes it all shiny new again.
Well, yeah, that too. So, and then I mean, I use moisturizer every day, so I'm like, it's not that difficult to put in my routine.
Josh, when are you getting yours?
I think I'm gonna get mine this weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Saturday. I'm going to contact some studios.
Are you getting it in town?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to get it in Colorado, but we
pretty much walked in and said, we both want tattoos, and
but you scheduled yours.
I scheduled mine like 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And looked up, and I needed to actually look into my artist for
mine's
like, the
basic
watercolor
stuff, nothing too intense. So
and at the point at time too, Jared was looking into getting it, but when we got there, there was a big guy in the back right next to me that was getting a full back tattoo. Another guy off to the side getting a full like half sleeve done. And there was only 4 artists. And then the other guy was doing a full chest tattoo. And then there was Nathan, who was doing me. And then he already had like pretty much a full schedule. And then he's like, well, I could squeeze you in at 5 if it's small. I'm like,
you don't want him to squeeze.
Yeah.
No, and that's the thing. Like I was like, no, I'm fine. I'll just do it another time.
He was really fast. He was extremely gentle.
Oh yeah,
like,
he was a very good artist.
Amazing. He talked to me the whole time. He checked on me.
Do you care to disclose what yours will?
Mine has a lot of meaning behind it. But the main thing is, if you are a BioShock fan, for the first game, you'll see the main character has 2 chain tattoos on both of his wrists, and I thought that was a great idea. And I looked into some meanings behind it, and a lot of it's is personal belief and stuff like that. But it's also due to the game itself. I love this. I love BioShock. It was one of my favorite. Alex is just staring at her tattoo.
I know.
She's like,
well, it's the
so pretty.
My redness has gone down, so my color is popping.
so mine's just gonna be basic black tattoo on each wrist. A lot of the meaning behind it is itself. The quote is from Andrew Ryan in the game BioShock that says, "A man chooses, a slave obeys." A lot of people use that kind of definition behind this tattoo that I want to get, or these 2 tattoos I want to get. Real basic stuff. It'll be done in less than an hour. So,
okay, so like, is one risk going to say a man?
It's not gonna
I'm not putting the quote on there.
No,
I'm just doing the 2 chains. So
I guess I didn't really describe, like, for the people that are listening, like, what it is.
Oh,
Yours?
Yeah. I mean, I'll post it on social media, but it is if you look up Lincoln Park's, it's a Lincoln Park Memorial tattoo. It's pretty much dedicated to Chester Bennington. So the symbol that I have is the newest Lincoln Park symbol off their new album, and the upper left part of the symbol is gone, and in that symbol is a semicolon, and that is a symbol of mental awareness, and means a lot to me. Still not really, I'm just not going to disclose a whole lot about that part, but it's pretty much just where each side of this actual symbol represents a member of the band, and somebody, it used to be a full symbol, and then after Chester died, somebody had taken that bar out and left it open as if, like, part of the band is missing. And I was like, I automatically just got the idea to do that, and I wanted a semicolon out inside of it, just a mental awareness. Hey, this is mental awareness is an invisible thing, and people need to know about it. They need to know that it exists, that it's real, and it's supposed to be out in the open, so people go, hey, why is there a semicolon there? Then you can explain it. But there was an actual thing, if you look it up on the internet, the tattoos, there's a lot of people that have semicolon tattoos. It's called the Semicolon Project, and you can look into it. But a semicolon, if you read... if you know what a semicolon is, a author uses a semicolon in a sentence when a author has the chance to end a sentence but chooses not to, and it keeps going. So a sentence is supposed to represent your life, and then you're the author, kind of thing, is how that's represented. And then behind it, I've got like this really cool splashy watercolor, and the watercolor is supposed to represent, like, for me, like life and happiness, and like, there's more things. I don't know. It's really difficult for me to explain. I know what it means. It's really difficult to put into words, but it's supposed to be like this brighten up my day kind of thing. And then obviously it's kind of dedicated to Chester, just because he's one of the biggest influences on my life. So yeah. But yeah, I can't wait to put this up for everybody to see. It's so pretty.
Hitting time.
Yeah, but I want to mention one last thing. I've got
one other thing that we can mention of our trip, but it's real small too, so you go ahead.
Significant, not so much in our lives, but a significant entertainer died last week, and it was Jerry Lewis, who we, just because of our age, not so much familiar with.
I've heard the
work.
name.
I'm gonna say it's like Jerry Lewis. That sounds very
biggest
familiar.
thing was Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis. They were a entertainment kind of duo, and he did the Nutty Professor movie, like way back.
Oh,
in the 60s.
Original.
Yes.
Okay.
And his biggest thing, or what he's known for more so in our time, is he did a muscular dystrophy telethon every Labor Day.
Okay.
So, and then
looking him up,
he ended up he did it for like 40 years. He did it a long time.
Let's see what else.
So, but him and Dean Martin were a big pair, and like if you remember the movie, remember the Titans, where Denzel's talking to the two football players, and like, oh, you must say Jerry Lewis, which makes you Dean Martin. That's kind of that.
Okay.
That's what he's talking about. So, yeah, I mean, significant for maybe our parents and grandparents as far as
holy cow,
being familiar with his work. But I think he was 91, if I remember right. Yeah.
So already 2 of his movies were remade. The Nutty Professor and The Ladies' Man. Both of those were remade in the 90s to 2000s. The Ladies' Man, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure it's a remake. If not, it's a reboot. Yeah. It didn't really go anywhere.
Well, we're talking about the Saturday Night Live sketch, right?
Yeah, and they call it The Ladies' Man. Is that very? It's kind of looks like it's very specific, similar to this.
I don't know if the 2 are relatable or not.
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm seeing a lot of Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis comedy duos. Back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, there was a lot of people that had that kind of thing, like Don Knotts and Tim Conway. They were a comedy duo. Chris Farley and
Don Knotts.
Don Knotts.
Tim Conway.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, they were in a lot of movies together. Apple Dumpling Gang, Private Eyes. Okay. I can name 2 right off the bat right there. And then also, Don Knotts with Andy Griffith, but that's not a comedy duo.
Not so much.
Because Andy Griffith was
in
more
one
serious.
Instance of in one in one medium or one title, I guess.
Their show.
But it's funny because you get entertainers like that back in the 50s and 60s. The majority of people that watch TV knew them because there was only 3 channels.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas today in entertainment, and you guys are not listening.
No, the dog's doing something weird right behind you. She's staring at the door.
You get an entertainer today, and if they're on YouTube, people probably know them. But if they're on a cable channel, maybe they, a certain demographic knows them, but a bunch of other people don't.
Exactly.
So it's just very different. But he died. I can't remember which day, but
hey, 90 years old.
Yeah. But here's the you were saying celebrity death. I'm going to mention one other thing real quick of celebrity death. They're not necessarily a celebrity, but I looked it up, and on the Deadpool 2 set, a stuntman died.
Oh yeah, I heard about
stunt
that.
driver.
Yeah.
Female stunt driver dies on the set of Deadpool 2. The name of the stunt driver is S.J. Harris. She was 40 years old. She was a motorcycle stunt driver.
Wow.
She lost control of the bike and ran into a building on set.
Oh, man.
So they closed down production, and I think production just restarted. So, yeah, that's really sad.
Let's get out of here. So not to make light of that.
No, I get it. I wanted to say one other thing about our Colorado trip. We got scared in an elevator.
Oh, okay. That was the other thing I wanted to mention.
This is just a minute or two, maybe.
Yeah.
In Colorado at the Denver airport, you have to use the elevator to get from one platform to another.
Yeah.
And also you have to use a tram train. But we were getting... we had
to go up one floor.
One floor. Yep. One floor to get to our flight, our gate anyway. And we were in this elevator that went one floor. And it was jam-packed.
Packed. Person to person.
Packed with so many people. And we got to our floor. Door didn't open.
Like, it went, and there was like a long pause.
Very long
situation here.
Very long
pause.
And this guy was so funny. Like, we were sitting at our floor for a good, I want to say at least 15 seconds.
Like, it was a lot longer than it should have been.
It feels, and this guy was like, oh no.
And like 2 seconds later, the thing opened. He's like, "Sorry, I couldn't resist." But it almost like it didn't feel like you even went up a whole floor.
Yeah,
like, it felt like we
just
got
felt
stuck.
a shudder, and then it just stayed.
He's just like, "Oh
right
no!"
At the weight limit,
Oh my god!
Yeah,
my older sister, is very claustrophobic when it comes to elevators.
It made me go from like tired to fully awake in a second. I'm like, no.
Yeah, because we were taking a red-eye flight. We were going to fly out at midnight. And
funny guy.
Funny joke. We'll have to show you some videos about that kind of stuff. What we've been quoting the past couple hours. So without further ado, guys, it's time to plug it in.
Plug it in.
Before we do so, T-Shirt Tuesday is still going on our Twitter page, and it will be going on until next week. You head on over to @PTOUnlimited, which I will replug in, and Alex is showing the shirt off for our YouTubes. Head on over there. The top pin post is our T-Shirt Tuesday giveaway. All you have to do is follow us on Twitter, like the post, and retweet the post using hashtag PTO giveaway. And it's been getting a little more traction this month than it was over the past couple of months.
Thanks,
so we hope that you guys enter in to win, and we'll announce the winner next week on our podcast at 8 p.m. Eastern is when the giveaway is done, and you have to listen to win, so I can't stress that enough. So without further ado, guys, it's time to plug it in with all the stuff we're on. So if you are listening to us, just remember we are on other apps as well. We are on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, Blueberry, TuneIn, Satchel, the Xbox One podcast app, and Google Play Music. That's all the places you can listen to us. We thank you guys for liking, sharing, and subscribing to everything that we do. If you ever want to catch us on YouTube, we are there usually around the weekends. I'm going to plan on just getting our YouTube episodes out every Monday afternoon. That's the best time that we've been seeing of posting our videos out there. If you ever want to catch us on Exploded Radio, we are there Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern. They play our podcast on there, and you can also check out the music that they play on there as well around the podcast times. And every night during the weekdays around the same time is when they play other podcasts as well, so you can discover other ones, not just us, but we're amazing too. If you ever want to follow us on any of our social media apps, we are on Facebook, which is facebook.com/PTOUnlimited. Instagram is PTOUnlimited_podcast. We're also on Twitter, which is @PTOUnlimited. Every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch us live on our precast meetings, and you can chime in, give us topics to talk about, see the chat with the other people who follow us as well. If you ever want to email us about any topics you want us to talk about, you can email us PTOUnlimited@gmail.com. If you ever want to follow me on Twitter, I am @Lemke619.
Brett_Wings.
Cute_key.
That's 72.
I do want to say, I know Patrick and others, you've been very good at, you'll tweet at us, and I, up till this point, have been doing most of at least the Twitter social media. Mm-hmm. I've been going through some personal stuff. I've really been avoiding it. So I appreciate your trying to
converse,
interact,
yes.
and comment on stuff on the show. I do see it, Patrick. You especially, because I think you do the most.
Shout out to Patrick.
Shout out to Patrick.
I'm not ignoring you. I do see it. So I appreciate that. So I just wanted to say that it's
all good, bro.
So here's the thing. Like, if you want to tweet at PTOUnlimited, that goes to all three of us. But we also have our personal Twitters, which we plug too, which Patrick has been tweeting at all of us.
He's included all of us.
Too.
So
what a guy.
I do apologize for that, but I got to get some things righted.
That's all right. So let's wrap up, guys. Let's do this.
All right.
Thanks for joining us, guys, for episode 72.
Yeah, it was
Brett,
a good one.
You can push the music. Yeah.
Bam.
Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll catch you next week.
Bye.
Bye.